Pranam Guruji, Pranam Teacher Dana. Hello everyone that watching this video. Today I will explain the questions in exercise 18.1 in math grade 9. This is line A. The first dot of line A is at the position of 1, -2, and the second dot position is at 3, 4. And this is line B. The position of lines B first dot is at -3, 3, and the second dot of line B is at 1, 4. Now let us find the gradient of line A and line B. First of all, to help us to work with the gradients is we make these little lines to help us know the y and the x. Same with the B1, we do that. This helping line can help us to find the y and the x changes. Why? Because when we want to find the y changes, we can just search from the distance from second dot to the first dot. If we want to search for the x-axis, we just find the distance of the first and the second dot. Here, the distance of the y is 6 and the distance of the x is 2. And we need to remember that the formula of the gradient is y per x. Yes. So the gradient of line A is 6 per 2, or it's 3. So the gradient is 3. Now let us do the same with line B2. Remember, the formula of gradient is y per x. Yes. We need to all remember that. Now, let's do this on line B. The y changes of line B is 1. And the x changes of line B is 4. So, the gradient of B is a quarter. Okay, next. Here is number 2. Now, we have line A, line B, and line C. As usually, we need to know the dots of the lines first. The first dot of line A is -2, 0. And the second dot of A is 2, 4. First dot of line B is 2, -2. And second one is 3, 2. And for line C, the first dot is -2, -2. And the second dot is 4, 0. Now we just need to find the gradients of each line. Let's draw the helping line first. Yes, this and B1. Yes. Now we count for the y changes for A. Remember, the formula of gradient is y per x. So the y of A is 4, and the x changes for A is 4, 2. So the gradient is 1. Gradient B, gradient line B. We need to draw it like this too. Count it. So this is the x changes is 1 and the y changes is 4. So 4 is the gradient of B, line B. And the last gradient line C. The gradient line C gradient, we need to draw the helping line first to know. Now, the y changes of the x changes of C is 6. And the y changes of C is 2. So, 2 out of 6. So, the answer for C is 1/3. Next question. Next is number 3. As we look here, there is 3 different lines. Line A, line B, and line C. But wait, they are differently different with the other question, because they are now left to right. They go down to left to right, not go up to left to right. Anyway, let's start with line A. Remember, the formula of gradient is y per x. So the first is the y changes of line A is -5. Wait, why is it negative? Because the dot that the distance of first dot and second dot is go up, not go down. So it is -5. And then the x changes of line A is 2. So a 1. So the answer is 5. Next is gradient B. As the same, we do the same as line A. So we search for the x changes. So the y changes of B is -5, and the x changes of B is 5. And the last one is gradient C. So the y changes of line C is -2, and the x changes of line C is 1, 2, 3 is 4. So -2 out of 4. So the answer is -half. Next, we are now at number 4. As we see here, there are lines that left to right that goes up and left to right that goes down. Fun fact, if it left to right goes up, it will be positive. And if it is left to right goes down, the gradient will be negative. These lines are P, Q, and R. First, we will find the gradient of line P. Let's make the helping line again. So the y-axis of P is 2 and the x changes of P is 4. So the gradient of line P is 2 out of 4. So it is a half. Next is gradient Q. We see here that gradient Q, line Q goes left to right, that goes down. So it will be negative. Then the y changes of line Q is 2. So the y changes of Q is -4, -4, and the x changes of it is 2. So the answer will be -2, -2. Next is the last is gradient R. It's the same as the gradient Q. Now we will take the y-axis. So the y changes of R is -2, -2, and the x changes is 6. Now it's number 5. It is getting a little harder, isn't it, right? These are line D, E, and F. So the first dot of line D is -2, 4. And the second dot of D is 2, 15. The first dot of E is at -1, -15. And the second dot is at 3, 5. And line F, the first dot is at 0, 10, and the second dot is at 3, -10. The first question is, can we prove that D, the gradient of line D, is 2.5? Well, let's find the gradient of line D first. Let's make those little lines there. Now we will count 1, 2, 3. So the y changes is 10. And we need to remember that gradient is y per x. So line D is and the x changes of D is 4. So 10 out of 4 is 2.5. So that's very right. And the next question is try to find gradient E and gradient F. Let's count gradient E first. Let's see here. So we just do the same like usual. So the y changes of E is 20 and the x changes of E is 4. Sorry. So the gradient of E is 5. And the last is gradient of F. The y changes of F is -20 and the x changes of F is 2. So the answer is -10. Next! Whoa, number 6. Looking so hard right now, isn't it, right? Well, actually, it is real different. And the axis changes. Because the axis on number 6, it is a multiple of 5. So it is 5, 10, 15. No. Not the multiple of 5, but multiple of 10, 10, 20, and etc. So there is a line A, line B, and line C. Now let's search for gradient A, line A, shall we? So we need to make the helping line again to help us. Then the y changes of line A is what is it? It is 5. Then the x changes of line A is 10, yes. So the gradient of line A is a half. Next is line B or gradient B. As we look here, looks like line B is the longest one. The y changes of line B is 2, and the x changes is from 10 to 50 is 40. So 40 is equals to 1 out of 20. The gradient B is 1 out of 20. The last one is gradient C. As we look here, it is look like gradient C is negative. Line C is negative. So the y changes of line C is line C is -1, and x changes of line C is 50. So the answer is -1 out of 50. Now number 7 is really interesting. We drew our own line. It has shown that. So the first line we are making is at the dot of a -4, 2. And the second dot of this line is 2, 5. And the third dot, there's a third dot now, is at 4, 6. Now we draw the line and we will call it line A. Yes, line A. Next, we will make another one. But first, we'll take the gradient A first. So, the gradient of A is 1, 2. The y changes of line A is 4. And the x changes of line A is 8. So, the answer is half. Number 8 it is. Now we will make 4 different lines. Wow! Isn't that great? And now we'll make the first line. We'll make the A line. So we put this dot on 3, -4, 6, 2, and 4, -2. So we draw the line like this, and we'll call it line A. Okay? Next, we'll count the gradient of line A. It is the y changes of line A is 1, 2, 3. It is 6, and the x changes of A is 3. So the answer is 2. Now we will make line B, and we will find the gradient of line B. First dot of line B is at, where is it at? It is at this dot 3, 6, and at this dot -6, -3, and the last one is at -3, 0. So this will be line B. Yes, it is. We call it line B. Now we will find the gradient of line B. So the y changes of line B is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, the y changes of B is actually 9. And the x changes of B is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the answer is 1. The gradient of B is 9. Next, we will make line C. It is at -1, -6, and the second dot is at -4, 6, and the last dot is at -3, 2. Now we will name it line C. Now we can look at it. Line C is negative. So the y changes of line C is it is minus 12, negative 12. And the x changes of C is 3. So the answer will be negative 4. Last is line D. We will need to make the line D at the dot of 5,3 and then 2,3 and then negative 4,3. Whoa, wait a minute. It is a straight line. If it is straight line, it is not a gradient because gradient is not straight, so it is 0. The gradient of line D is 0. Next. And this is our last question. Finally, we reached till the end right now. It is the same as not as number 8, but little harder bit. So the first dot of line A is at 0,0, and then 2,12, and then last one is 5, negative 30. Now we will make the line, and this is line A. Now we can just find the gradient of line A. So we do this as usual. Now we count it. So the y changes of line A is 42, and the x changes of it is 7, I think. Yes, the x changes of it is 7, right? Oh yeah, it is right. So the x changes of it is 7. So the gradient of line A is 6. Next is line B. We'll need to find the gradient in B. The first dot of line B is at 10,0, and the second dot is at 5,20, and the third dot is at 40,0. Yes, it is right. So we'll make like this. This is line B. So we will search for the y changes and x changes. So the y changes of B is 40 and x changes is 10. So, but wait. It is actually negative 4, yeah. And line C is gradient C. The first dot of line C is is at 9, negative 12, and then the second dot is at 12,26, and we drew the line like that. And then we will need to search for line C, gradient C. So the y changes of line C is 36, and the x changes is 2. So the answer will be 80. And the last one is D, line D, gradient D. So the first dot of line D is at negative 10, 10, and then 0,11.5, and then 4,11. So let's make the line. So the y changes of line D is from 1.5, and the x changes of line D is from negative 50. It is 0.9.1. So that is it. Hope you all entertain and learn something today. If I have some mistake, I'm sorry for the language or anything, and see you guys next time. Bye.